You're listening to WRFB Radio Free Britannia. And no other better freaking place in the world than Deltona, Florida. Here you are, lunch with no other than the dynamic duo, Laz and Jack.
And greetings, everybody. This is Laz.
This is Jack. Welcome to Lunch with Laz and Jack. Today in the studio, we are joined by Shroud on the keys and Jade.
I don't think she was up
I think
on
she's
that.
there.
And we have Jade from EVL with us here to talk about the Virtual League here in a couple of minutes. And I see Jade is sitting up front there, and she's got a pet that says, "We need book titles." That's something that's been a hot topic as of late. Book titles in game. I don't know how many other people having or dislike what's happening with it. But the books don't read properly. Have you noticed this, Jack? Do you have the issue here with that?
No, the book titles work properly on my Kindle, but in game they are not working.
On your Kindle?
Yeah, on my Kindle.
Okay, you can
Read
play
books
the
on
game
Kindle?
on your Kindle?
No, I can't, but I can read books on it.
But how do you
The
read
titles.
book titles in game on your Kindle?
You don't.
You're silly.
I think
No,
Jade got it.
he's
Jade
full
got
of
it. Laz did not get. Laz did not
Oh,
get
my
it.
head.
I got it.
I'm looking the other way. It's like, oh, where? But yeah, if you put books on your vendors, I'm going to bring this up here on the screen for everybody to see. Does my vendor actually have a book? No, my books are gone. Somebody bought all my books. I hate when that happens. Let's see if Randall's got any. Or Dante. There we go. And this comes up as a book written by Lazarus Long, and not what the title of the book is. And
If
this
you
is
hover
something-
over it, you can get the title to pop up, but it's not correct.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that is a fill out a bug report, and they'll put it in Jira, and that I wouldn't think is a critical bug, and so it gets pushed further to the back burner for something to be fixed later.
I would expect it's a known issue as well.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
noted several times. As far as
But
I
the only
see.
problem is people like to complain, but they don't like to actually fill out the bug reports. And if you're a developer, the only thing you're looking at is problems inside of Jira. And if you're looking at Jira all day for all the bugs, even though someone's complaining about something, then they may or may not see it. So, I mean, there's always
I
a...
thought it was already on the list of the known issues, therefore they discourage you from reporting bugs over and over or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's a known issue, then yeah. Then from there, it's like, give them some time to work on stuff.
And by the way,
We're
critical
still waiting
is a
on
point of
1B
view.
titles, aren't we? Luca, how you
I'm
doing?
aware of
Stella,
that.
thanks for joining us today. Kendrick, Kush Lady, nice to see everybody out there. DD, again, always good to see you out there. Thanks for joining us, everybody. For the record, today is Thursday, March 3rd, 2016, Shroud and the Avatar. And that means we have the post-mortem coming up this afternoon. An extended 2-hour post-mortem. So I'm guessing that they're going to be covering a couple things a little bit more in depth. It's just my guess for the extra added half hour. That would be an educated guess, yes?
Either that or they're going to be drinking on the show again today.
Well, it's
But that's
Thursday.
probably not true.
It's Thursday, but now usually that's only during fundraising. when we're trying to do a telethon and we're going in those real long 12-hour marathon sessions, do we get drinking involved? Although
I'm aware of that, but they may wish that they were drinking later today, as they're going through a little bit of everything.
Yes. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. Again, postmortem this afternoon. I'm going to cover some of those questions that are out there. Now, Jade, did you guys get a question in on the questions place where I told you to post about that one more time, even though this is a known issue?
I put in 2, and one of them has actually been fixed by one of the patches, but obviously referring back to book title says not.
The coloring has been fixed.
Yes. Now, of course, speaking of patches, we had a patch right here today before the show again. Patch 390, folks. It's a very small patch, not much to talk about. There's 2 little blurbs. If we want to talk about it real quick, we can. It's just mostly audio fixes. Still catching up on those little
Fixed Owl's head.
runaway audio sounds we were getting everywhere. It was driving everybody crazy.
Bah.
Yeah,
Bah.
Yeah, the sheep have been the standard joke around TeamSpeak these days.
Oh, well, ever since the guys down at Portalarium came out with sheep boning, we've been relentless about it. So, yeah, you ain't got to tell us. The sheep jokes run rampant. Yes. Hey, they put it in the stand-up corner. Is one of the things they would do. They were putting bones in sheep, and they worded it as boning sheep. And of course, we've had a field day with it ever since.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Well then.
Well, one of the days I went into the office, they were he was boning the satyr.
Boning
So,
the satyr.
Yeah.
That's too much.
He was boning the face of the satyr that day. So I'm actually looking at the release patch notes right now. I don't know if you are.
I had them up.
But
I actually
okay.
threw them down because there was only 2 little notes there.
Yeah, the fixed sound effects.
Yeah, it wasn't anything major to go into, in my opinion. Just covered that by going, it was 2 little fixes.
Yep.
So we got Jade here, and aside from her small protest about books, she's here to give us a little information. So let's get that covered real quick. Then we can move on to, of course, we got stand-up corners. We got questions for today's post-mortem. This week's gone by. It's been quite the week, and then of course we've got some prep to do. At least I've got a little bit more prep to do for our interview with Star Long here tomorrow after the show. We'll be sitting down in depth talking about housing. What? Huh?
Lots of prep.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk after the show. There's a couple things we just got to cover and make sure we got our I's dotted, our T's crossed, so that we can present everything properly and, have a good show. But meanwhile, Jade is here. Jade, we got the Virtue League is having fight nights every Wednesday night.
Yeah, we have a 1v1 tournament that goes every Wednesday night. It's called the Virtue League. It's grown in popularity. Last night we had 12 competitors with numerous spectators. We divide the group into 2 tiers so that the hot shots aren't always picking on the little ones. Tier 1, the winner was Kendrick Darrell, and in Tier 2, Frey Enride was our champion, and they took home 100 scrolls of their choice. And next week, we're going to offer 2 uncut gems of your choice, regardless of rarity. We have those stockpiled now. The Virtue League standings right now, Kendrick Darrow leads the boards, with Job following that, and Stank in the 3rd position. There is some concerns, and maybe you've addressed this on the show, that death has an extreme advantage over a life-attuned player. And while over my pay grade, honestly, there's two really good fighters that are feeling kind of bad that they're so overpowered, and we look forward to Portalarium maybe evening that playing field.
Okay. No, I haven't. We haven't touched on that as far as I know.
Well, the lower you are in death, the more powerful. I mean, the lower your life force is with death magic, the more powerful everything is. And so you're supposed to be more of a glass cannon. And
Gotcha. I see.
yeah, so I mean that is something that they will probably look at and address to address some of those balancing issues. It may or may not make it in very soon. So who are the two people that think they're grossly overpowered?
Well, one would be our own Kendrick, and then Callum and I were, Callum, a White Wing, and I were just discussing the issue as to make the, I mean, I'll be honest with you, if you'd been there last night, Kendrick was just mopping the floor.
Really?
Okay, yeah. It's pretty funny. So, yeah. So, glass cannon is a steel cannon now instead of a glass cannon.
Okay. Yeah, because that's something I really wouldn't give much thought to, because that's how I'd expect certain builds to be. We'll have to play with that a little bit more. Gonna have to look at that. And Casey Cupcakes coming into the room here, quietly in the background. How you doing, Casey?
Doing alright. I was a little bit late. Here I am.
I see that. Now, you say that was you who made that sound effect yesterday? Or you made that comment?
Yes, it was.
Sunday?
Bear
Yes, it
Park
was.
Coliseum.
Yes, that was you. Okay. We got to talk. I got to get that. I got to get a couple things from you with that, man. I was wondering
With
if you
that
could
voice.
actually recreate that, but you can, and that's good. And for those of you wondering what we're referring to, was we were talking yesterday on yesterday's show, and we just had a little joke. And,
Sunday.
Sunday.
At the Fair Park Coliseum.
And it was just a little clip I caught, and I says, wow, that sounds good. I can use that on the air. We can use that on our radio. Of course, that is if you're willing to do it, Casey.
Of course I am.
It's got a lot of great things that we can use that for promos and lead-ins and all sorts of other fun stuff.
I'm willing to help out any way I can.
Good fun soundboard stuff as well. But moving right along,
Looks
we
like we
have
a viewer across the street that has a similar pet.
yeah, who do we have out there? We have
We
somebody.
need book titles.
Yeah, we
Dax.
need book titles. There's somebody out there with a steam clock pet.
Yep.
Sitting over there on. Oh, it's Dax. Dax Diggler sitting over there on the rack. How are you, Dax? Boy, Horsey's real famous around here. We got Glue and Horsey.
They're getting along quite nicely.
Now here's something I was talking about with Shroud. I'd moved a lamppost here today just for a little bit better lighting. And he
Yeah,
goes-
right on top of my head.
And he goes, where am I going to put my horse? That wasn't the one, though. It was the one over near the outhouse is the one I moved. Actually, I moved them both.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Yeah.
I was putting my horse over there. I says, that's what we need, is we need horse posts, so that you can, tie up your horse when you stop outside of a place.
Hitching post.
Hitching posts, thank you. Hitching posts, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Well,
Is,
isn't that the Viking fence?
Well, they were actual functional hitching posts back in that old game, Ultima Online. Almost 20 years old now. Still going strong. Another newsworthy note.
But hitching posts weren't in there for the first few years.
No, they were later edition. That's true. There was actually just a global release of Release 92 of Ultima Online the other day. I happened to catch that a little blurb. Yeah, went full global to all the servers. I didn't realize that they only rolled them out slowly at first. I thought that whenever they did that, they went global all the time, but apparently not. But good news nonetheless. Shroud is in the hands of its moderators. Ultima Online's going strong, and we're building a brand new world here. I love this shit. So Jack, we got a couple things to cover today. We got
we've got a couple stand-up corners.
Yeah, quite a bit in the stand-up corners. Of course, we got the post-mortem and questions. So we want to do both stand-ups. So we want to just do yesterday's and hold today's for tomorrow.
We'll do yesterday's, and we'll do today's because tomorrow, what we're going to be talking about is the post-mortem and the interview.
You're absolutely right. So we might as well knock both of them out here. Yeah, you got a good point. Tomorrow we're going to be covering everything in today's post-mortem, and then, of course, we'll be getting ready to follow up with the Star-Long interview here after our afternoon show tomorrow.
Yeah, which means tomorrow or Friday I need to put on my NBNN shirt.
And your suspenders. Do the suspenders go with the NBNN shirt? I don't know. They go well with polo shirts. They only go well with button-ups, right?
You know what? I'll go ahead and do it just for you, okay?
Sure you're not flying off to Hawaii tomorrow?
I wonder, will suspenders go with the Hawaiian shirt here?
No.
Yeah.
I am looking at the stand-up corner. I'm waiting on you.
Okay, well, we're there.
Our devs yesterday, so this is the stand-up corner for Wednesday, March 2nd. Bob was working on the Cobalt Throne. Fletcher, a.k.a. New Guy, was refitting headgear to the new male avatar. Kevin was doing setup for male avatar equipment refits. Leo was fixing bugs. Matt was working on the new male avatar rigging and skinning. Reed was working on collision for airships and obsidian towers. Scotty was working on the Cobalt test map and Destiny in Dire Prophecy, although it should have an A in there. Then over in design, Brandon was working on the paternal leave. I guess that means he's got a new baby.
Yes.
Dan is working on Elysium scenes and Graph Gem Mines polish. Finn's working on audio fixes in Politis Shardfall. Gina's working on Xenos NPCs and customer service. Keith was working on the Resurrection doubling in tripling and new scenes. Richard was working on Screc finalization. Scott was working on quality of life fixes for Journal. Sorcerer Steve was working on Central Brittany layout.
Yay,
Over
Steve.
next.
Man, Steve's on fire, man. I love this guy.
Central Brittany, yeah. Over in tech, Eric was working on AI optimizations. Jason was working on conversation keywords for localization. Joaquin was working, or Wizard Smoke was working on release 27 bugs. And character stat, UE design, and /examine. I guess that's going to be a new tool.
Nice.
Examine something. Burning Toad was working on release 27 bugs. And builds and character stat UE design. Tassilo was working on accounting and security updates and audit. Zach Shepard was working on release 27 crafting bugs.
Bug.
And new recipe book and validation for repair and salvage. Over in QA, James was working on forums and sanity. Michael was working on customer service and forums and customer service training.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice. Yeah.
Wait a second. Customer service training. Who's going to be doing new customer? Oh, Reese is going to be doing customer service training, forums and security and sanity. Yes. So production management. I was looking for a new person.
Yeah. No, it took me a minute too. Yeah. I was looking. I'm going, but Reese is working. Oh, yeah, it's Reese. Okay.
Oh, it's Reese. Yeah. Production management. Another Chris was working on performance optimization. Dallas was working on general business and pledge expiration planning. Michael was working on mountain town template and Brittany planning. Richard, or Lord British, was working on bugs and play testing. And Rick Kaox was working on Release 28 task triage and world building planning. And Star was working on forms and Jira triage and master schedule polish. That was all yesterday. And then today, Star has actually put it out there for us. So we do have we have Bob's working on the Cobalt Castle Unity integration. New guy, Fletcher, is working on refitting armor to the new male avatar. And nice. Kevin is also working on refitting armor to the new male avatar. Leo's still fixing audio bugs.
Showing him a little of the ropes.
Yeah. Matt is working on the new male avatar rigging and skinning. Yeah. Reed is working on collision for Obsidian Towers and Stone Keep. Scotty is working on bugs. And the Spacebards wax cylinder. Although I think they should need to recall them recap band. The recap band, which were the Spacebards, do have a new Kickstarter campaign out for their
latest album. That's right.
Yep.
We should get all of our money together and do the 5,000 so that we can have them play at Hobloth.
They're already playing at Hobloth.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're already making an appearance at Hobloth, aren't they?
Yeah, I just wanted to plug Hobloth again.
Okay. Well, we need to get to the 10,000 for Hobloth, so that way we get the special coins. Spell combat school icons are also being worked on by Scotty. Over in design, Brandon was working on Paternal Leave still. Dan was working on Graph Gemini's Polish. Finn was working on audio fixes and Peleus Shardfall. Gina's working on Xenos NPCs and customer service. Keith was working on all player-owned town templates connected to Hometown. Although, why is someone allowed to connect a template to Hometown?
Because it's there. We'll talk about that later. Come on, let's knock this out. That's food.
Long fall adventure scene clones. Then Richard was working on Screc finalization. Right. Scott Jennings, Lum the Mad, was working on Xenos and map review. Sorcerer Steve was working on Central Brittany world building. Over in tech, Jason was working on localization bug fixes. Wizard Smoke was working on Release 27 bugs. And character stat and UI design it and / examine still. Burning Toad was working on Release 27 bugs. And builds and character stats UI design. Tassilo Phillip was working on accounting and security updates and audit. Zach was working on Release 27 crafting bugs. And new recipe book and validation for repair / salvage. QA James is working on forms and sanity. Michael is working forms and material colored smoke test. And nice. Reese was also working on forms and sanity. Chris is out sick.
Ooh,
get well soon, Chris. Yeah, so Chris that's unfortunate.
Are you joining us from home today, maybe? Or not joining us?
Possibly.
So that means Chris is working on bugs?
Yeah,
Chris has got the bug.
That's what happens when you work the bugs for a living.
Yep. Then let's see. Dallas is working in general business and pledge expiration prep. Michael's working on mountain town template, map review, and map planning. Richard, Lord British, is working on bugs and playtesting. And then Chaox was working on map review and Release 28 bugs. And Darkstar was working on forms and Jira triage, map review, map planning meeting. They did not put on there, map planning meeting. What they did not put on there is prepping for the postmortem.
Yes. Well, that's going to be interesting with Chris out sick. Is he going to remote from the house?
It's
or
possible.
Is he probably just going to bow out?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, he'll probably just remotely connect. So.
Yeah, okay. As we've seen Lum do it, we've seen everybody stay home and do it. It's the great thing about this technological world that we live in these days. We don't have to leave our houses. So,
yep.
Let's talk about this here real quick. Connecting to hometown.
See, I see hometown as I don't see why a player-owned town owner would want to connect to hometown, because hometown is supposed to be just your example template of what all the houses look like.
Well, maybe it's just examples of the templates.
Maybe.
All player-owned Okay, I got it. No, all player-owned town templates connected to hometown. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that way you can actually go through and actually
look at all the templates.
Look at the templates and choose which one you really want.
Now, I've been out actually doing that. I've been looking at the different variances as it may be, and while I do find there are slight variances and difference, again, I'm going to save a lot of this for tomorrow. Yeah, that's real interesting. But that makes more sense, though. So people can actually go look and visibly see the templates at one location, making a decision, because it's not easy. And I'm still holding out for some better word on templates, but we'll again cover all this in tomorrow's show and tomorrow's interview. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Now, of course, the recap band's doing a Kickstarter. Do we have a link for that to bring that up?
I just tweeted it out a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
So
up there.
Go look at my tweets.
That's what I didn't do today. We didn't tweet today. That's okay. We get enough tweets out in a day.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got 487 or 407 new tweets.
What's this tweets stuff you're talking about?
Twitter. You're not on Twitter, man. You got to get out there. Spread the word. Spread the love.
Are there going to be cupcakes at Pablo?
If
there will be Casey cupcakes.
To it, yes,
there better be.
There might actually be a wedding cake made by Casey Cupcakes.
Now, yeah, that was something
else.
Yeah. That was something else in the news. Rustic Dragon about a
is
wedding
doing
yesterday.
Wedding planning.
Now,
yeah.
Would this be the same wedding I might be thinking about? Is there any realm of possibility that's going to actually happen?
I don't know if that would be really cool.
I'm not going to say a word
cool.
because
yeah.
Right now this is all theoretical in my head, but I think everybody in the room who's up on the news knows what I'm talking about. But do you think this is actually going to happen? Well, I guess we're going to have to drag Rustic back in here and get some clarification on that.
I'll try to speak to the possible bride as soon as I can.
Well, see, I wouldn't go doing that until I got clarification from Rustic about what he's talking about, because it may not be related. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know something we don't, and then you better kick it up.
Yeah, I love the fact that the name of the album for these guys, for their new album is Pronoia, and in there they actually have a definition of what it means. The opposite state of mind to paranoia, having the sense that there is a conspiracy that exists to help the person. It is also used to describe a philosophy that the world is set up to secretly benefit people. I kind of like that as far as a definition.
They might not be totally off point there.
And then also since Justin is mentioning this as well, our community member Spec, who helped put on the Shooter Jennings stuff, she just recently got engaged as well. But that was all over Facebook.
Yes.
And Twitter. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, that was all over everything.
Well, I don't have those, so what is she?
You went ahead and said that name, and you told people, but I'm speculating.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to drop any names, but you think that's possible?
Yeah, but Spec wants to get married at Dragon Con, but whether or not Rustic gets married at Hobloth, that would be really interesting because I don't know whether or not his fiance plans on coming down. Now, are you looking at the Recap's second album page?
I am not, because I'm looking at your Twitter page and I can't find the tweet.
Well, if you also look inside of Discord, I included a link to it.
Last one. Oh, I didn't see that. Did not see that one there. My bad.
Yeah, because, yeah. Okay, so I love the fact that one of the guys in the Recap band is wearing a Megadeth shirt.
Yeah, well, that's not unknown in the industry. A lot of guys wear other band shirts on stage and out in the real world.
I know. But considering they're not a metal band.
Yeah, well, again, I don't think that's got.
Yeah.
So 28 days to go. 22 backers so far. $1,620 out of 5,000 raised. Now, what are they doing this for? So they can actually press and release the album?
I believe so.
Recap's second album.
And that's when they officially became Recap, and it's time they've gone blah 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 blah. Yep. Yeah, so this is going to be the funding for this latest album.
Oh, cool. Love how.
But if you are looking in game,
somebody's handing you some snacks, you better make sure they're not poisoned.
I know.
That's just Dax. Dax cool.
The Gypsy dance in game is actually from the Recap band's Lord British song. Lord British is Coming. So this
Gypsy dance.
Yeah, the Gypsy dance is actually from the when they were known as the Space Bards. So that is Lord British is Coming. And if you've never watched that video, I suggest you do so on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it is pretty damn funny.
It's funny as anything. Now, I love it because I've been sitting here several days since that comes out. Old geezer comes up and stands behind me and does the dance and goes, "So, how's that back rub feel, Laz?"
It's pretty funny.
It almost looks like, let's go ahead and we'll give Jack a back rub.
That as I listen to The Return of Lord British.
There you go. And of course, here we go, derailing the train.
Yeah, that's right. I'll take the back rub.
Oh, Casey, he's giving Dax a front rub. Oh, we're not going to go there.
The real question is, does it work while you're on your hands and knees?
Oh.
Oh.
Boys.
Sorry. Boys will be boys.
Anyway.
But if Dreadfully Despised was here, it'd be much worse.
Oh, yeah, he's lurking there. Oh, no, he left last I looked. So.
Yeah.
He was here.
I think he's working.
He's gone. Yeah.
He's working.
Too funny.
Kush lady's usually here. Hi, Kush.
Yeah, she's out there. She's listening on the NBNN stream last time I looked as well. As we got Stella out there. We got Kendrick. We got Luca. And, of course, you guys want to come chat with us here in-game in Discord. Go to nbnn.info. Click on the little Discord app box. Put your name in. Click on the Accept Now button. It'll whisk you right on in here. Come talk to us. Tell us what you think about topics we're talking about and what's going on in the game. Kendrick, love to hear about what you got to say about how the overpowered balance is there. I'd love to hear that in your own words. If you want to take a couple minutes to come pop in on us and talk to us about it. great. And
I
of
was
course,
going to say,
everybody else is welcome.
Tenno Merrick is all the way over in my YouTube channel, and he actually said that he had trouble logging in with the patch 388, and he had to reload Windows 10. Ooh, that's painful.
Sometimes you should just wait, because we're at 390 now. That's real painful. And again,
the 390 patch is super small, and it did fix the audio problems that they were having. So.
Yeah, for anybody running Windows 10 out there, for the most part, we can tell you everything works. While it's not officially supported by the folks at Portalarium yet, that's just for CYA needs. But you shouldn't really have to do that. That hurts, though.
Yeah, if anything, it's like I would have deleted the game and rerun the installer for it and patched up that way instead of reloading Windows. But
yeah, maybe something else was corrupt. Who knows? Possibly.
Yeah. But
Who knows? But we got the post-mortem coming up this afternoon. Lots of questions out there. We got 83 thoughts, comments, replies, and such now. We want to go ahead and pick on a couple of those.
Well, I closed it from the other day, so I need to go find it again.
Lucky for you.
So you will have to give me like 10 seconds to open it up as a new tab. It's only a new tab, that's all it is. And then I have to go find...
How many hundreds of tabs do you have open today?
Oh, a lot. You know me. I need to go find where we were at yesterday, so... So we did the fiddle question.
Yeah, let me.
Are you ready?
I'm looking for it too.
Oh, you don't have it up?
I have it. I'm just trying to get to where we were.
Okay.
I'm looking for the fiddle question here. So I don't recall how far down it was.
They asked for a violin. Now, so we did cover Baron Droicus's, what else we're going to do, prevent macroing of skills, Gustball mimics, something, and then Redfish wants Gustballs have their health depletable. Then let's see, Coat of Arms, we talked about. Straight pieces for castle wall stone sets would be awesome.
Coat of Arms, have we covered Coat of Arms?
Yes,
I thought there was still quite a bit of speculation as to who is handling that. Last I heard, there were some changes that you didn't have to use the coat of arms maker. You could submit other ways now, and last I heard, this was all still in a jumbled mess. And correct me if I'm wrong, because
it's a cluster.
Yeah, okay, that was my thought.
Yeah, it's a cluster. They have to straighten that out just because. But at the same time, will it? All that artwork has to go from the COA to Portalarium, and then it has to be attached to accounts and then imported correctly all across the board. So it's going to be messy. And that's one would be great if it was in game, but then they have to think of all the different artwork that they have to do for it, because coats of arms are supposed to be applied to shields, banners, and a few other things.
Right.
And so there's going to be all kinds of tech issues related to that, and they've pushed it off, and so that may be one where it's not available prior to Final Wipe.
Yeah, now I know the tech's there because I've seen it in several other games, where you can even have a shield creator on a website, and that transposes into everything you use in game, which is killing me as to why we didn't go that route in the first place.
Well, okay, so if we look at up close at our Founder and Royal Founder shirts right now,
right,
and I don't know why yours is so much, the shield is so much bigger than mine, but that would have to be like a texture that would be blank and as soon as you upload the artwork, it would get replaced with your exact one. And so, but that would be them going through and reskinning all of those devices as well.
Right.
And so
I'm
that's
wearing the leather armor, by the way. That's why.
okay.
Mine's
That's
not just
that's
the
why
shirt.
I think mine's just the shirt. But it's a lot of reskinning, and it's a lot of them going back and retouching things that they've already worked on.
Yeah,
And
understandable.
I did all that and without doing it on my screen. So it's a lot of them going back and retouching up work, but it shouldn't take too terribly long for that artwork to be done. But it's mostly a tech issue.
Yeah, again, just one of those things. I'm wondering if they knew they were going to
Yeah.
do that. Why didn't we just build it in with a web interface in the first place, instead of going the route they went? Just my thoughts. That's all.
Yeah. So there's the request for more straight pieces and castle wall stone sets, as well as with and without ladders, as well as broken and ruined walls that can be crafted as well or available on the store. If you think about your customized towns right now, the only way to actually get like a fortified area right now is either to build that walls, or if you think of Vengeance when it first came out, one of the things that that Violation really wanted was the castle slot to actually have ruined walls, and so it became an issue of like defense and things like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Now, a good example of that would be out at Vengeance. Vengeance has a lot of walls that were pre-made that were crumbling and broken.
Yeah.
And, so we know that there's a graphic at least, or something can be done that way. But I'm all for a lot. There should be, if you're going to put the walls out, there should be one package. That's just straights. Maybe I don't want corners. Maybe I'm going to use the straights and make my own corners. Why do I need corners if I have straight pieces? I'm using them in conjunction with row houses, as I notice a lot of other people are doing the same thing now, where we're just interspersing them just to make coverage. But I don't need all the corner pieces. I gotta agree with the guy. I've got a bank full of them,
yeah,
and they're basically useless. They're just sitting there taking up space.
yep. You can make a village lot and put corner pieces and make your house that way.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so a little bit further down, we do have Jade's question about book titles. When are they coming back?
Yes, so
Then,
go ahead and read that. I'm
when are
dying
book titles
without
coming back?
titles to my books. I need my titles back, pretty please. When will books have titles again?
Yep.
Just can't get
Then,
rid of me.
No.
Yep.
I had to read it
Nope.
just because. Yeah. And of course, as you know, the next question down there has already been addressed. Patch
Yep.
number 87, which is nice to see.
So then they've decided to add adventure scenes region by region. Could you list the order of implementation? So that is one where it's like, when are they going to actually finish populating the overworld map? Because we know most of these scenes are going to end up being just placeholder scenes until they can actually go back and redo the
And touch 'em up.
custom
Right,
scenes
right.
for all of them. Yeah. This becomes actually relatively interesting. If you look back at the stand-up corner, the amount of time that they spend doing map reviews, that's them talking about scenes and where they're going in and what they're going to implement and name them, things like that. And that's my conjecture on that. So
I thought we were talking about the cloth map personally, but okay.
that would be the world map and scenes.
Map
Because
in
why would
general.
they spend that much? They can't craft the cloth map until the overworld map
Everything's
is
populated and
finalized.
finished. But if they know
Yeah,
where they're
so-
putting everything already, that should be a no-brainer. That's what
Well,
the hang-up is. I
that-
don't think we know everything.
That's where it becomes. Yeah, that's why they keep on having map review meetings, so that way they can talk about scenes, where they're putting in, what the theme is for those themes, for those scenes, and they can actually discuss those things. So, I mean, they are having lots and lots of little meetings about that stuff.
Plus, once they make the cloth map, it becomes locked in, and then they can't change it.
Well, we know things
Exactly,
like
so-
player-owned towns, all the non-essential other towns are not going to be listed on this map. So we're only going to have the key cities and quest cities to begin with, is my understanding. Now, am I correct on this, or is my interpretation wrong on this?
Well, the cloth map is going to have all the quest centrist stuff, the major towns, and some of the smaller NPC towns, but not the 200 that are added for residences, the player run towns. So those won't make it onto the cloth map.
Right.
And
so
definitely
only
the player
quest-related stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Storyline related, more so properly worded.
Yeah. So then, so we're still looking at some of the places changing a little bit based off of location on the overworld map, because they've also added like that bridge next to Brittany that used to not be there a few releases ago.
Yes. Yes.
So they are still changing a bunch of things, and none of that can be finalized. So then let's see. I'm going to skip that question about
Duke, or are you going to Rufus?
walls. I'm going to Rufus.
Okay.
Can public vendors be added to the list of NPCs available to be placed by governors in player-owned towns? So that way you could have your own little auctioneer in town.
I like it. I don't see why not.
I like it as well. It's just a simple vendor, and then it takes up a vendor slot.
And it's
Yeah,
it's
then-
a public vendor, almost like a town crier, and like the public vendors we have in the main towns. It allows everybody and anybody to use it. But that's giving away a lot of vendors. But it'll be a taxable vendor, so I don't see there being a problem. We're going to sell taxable vendors to the player base anyway later on down the line. At least that's my understanding again as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I hope they get this one asked today, and I hope we get an answer to it. There's a +1, and Redfish comes back with a reply on that. I think the vendors
With
add
public-
outside. Yeah.
Should all outside of an owned lot should all be public, including chests, as well as other functional things. Then the next question by Rufus is: it would be possible to make a version of the village ring of stones that might be placed as a decoration in a dynamic template. That's actually really cool, because then you could have your little clearing, and then from there you could actually place the village ring of stones without it being on a lot. So I kind of like that idea.
Can't we do that now? I thought the Ring of Stones can be placed as a.
No,
I thought it
it
could.
requires a lot.
Does it require
Requires a lot. Yes, it does,
Okay.
because it's a house.
Yeah, okay. I guess because it is a house, right? Because
That
we
is
have
correct.
we have the dragon bones, though. The dragon bones.
Dragon bones can be placed as a pot decoration. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was in the same classification or same category myself. Maybe
Nope.
maybe something we'll have to ask about. If it don't get asked, maybe we'll have to ask tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, Katrina Beckles
I-
here's got a laundry list. At least it looks like a laundry list.
Yeah.
I think it's more bullet marked than anything else.
Yeah, it's more bullet points. She just wants stats and records for a little bit of everything.
A leaderboard.
And, well, no, she's not doing it as a leaderboard. She just wants to, like, say what
where
else
would
done.
you display
See-
this, and how would you display with it, and where would people access it? It's a leaderboard.
Well, this is where I run into a problem with this, because with the exploit and then also with Hometown. I know Justin's going to text me in about 5 seconds after I say this, but like doing something as far as producer level or most crafted item doesn't make sense when the people that were decorating Hometown were provided with a crap ton of resources that they still had to craft.
Yes.
But it's one where it's like it wasn't. This is where it also ties into the exploit with the quest exploits. It's not real data because of either the developers giving access to materials or a person exploiting game mechanics to increase their level, increase their skills, and so that way it's bad data. And so it's even though it might be fun and interesting, but it's not accurate.
Well, one way and another, it actually is, because even if you're putting those products out there, these people still have to build it, work it, and they get data on how the skill gains, how much it costs, and they can adjust a lot of levels just by observing that. I'm sure Chris has got that down to a science.
If I'm getting 12,000 XP per turning in a book,
whoa, yeah,
and I can make copies of it.
I thought you were talking about experience building from getting the resources to help build Hometown. Is what I thought you were talking about.
No, I included both.
Right.
And so I think that's one where it distorts the data.
Yeah,
Even if you just look at the Hometown stuff. If you look at the Hometown stuff, Justin just said some of us didn't have time to get producer XP, and she only has one crafting GM. But
right.
some of the people took advantage of the exploit,
right,
and then also increased their levels. And so I don't see how the data is actually relevant other than, hey, look, this is the most produced item in game.
Well, if I was a betting man, I bet you dollars to donuts that Chris could include or exclude any piece of data that he wanted to get a real number. At least that would be my thoughts. If it was being done and tracked right, I could pull any little bit of data out. My opinion is they can track every gold coin in this game, and they should be able to.
We know they can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the advantages of the MondoDB. The problem is that if I have an illicit gain from one, say I got that 12,000 XP, and then I went ahead and I hit a gust ball and I leveled up swords all the way up as far as I could, and then I went out and started killing things. Is that good data?
Why not?
It's all due to an exploit, though.
When you go down to the clink and you get XP for doing that quest reward, is it good data?
That is good data because you can only do that one once.
That's not true.
You can kill the monsters over and over again, but you can only claim the quest once.
I can redo it 200 times a day.
I have never been able to do the Clink quest more than once.
Now, okay, I guess, I'm talking more of.
I'm talking about the Myra and that's killing the monsters. That is
never mind.
Yeah, that is two different issues. One is collecting XP for completing the quest. The other one is going out and killing monsters in a scene.
Anyway, I'm not going to go delve deep into that one either, because that's going to kill a lot of time, which we do not have a whole lot of, by the way.
No, we've got 5 minutes.
Yes, we got 5 minutes left in today's show. We got to do our calendar. We got to do our thank yous. We got to do our commentaries.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and hit up today's calendar and go ahead and work our way out of here, gentlemen. lady.
Okay, today's calendar, remember, is off of Avatar Circle. It is a Google Calendar that is also hosted on nbnn.info. Just click on the calendar button at the top. All times are Central Standard Time in the real world, or New Britannia time, as we call it in-game. Then Thursday, March 3rd at 4 p.m. on... Our actual event isn't
It's
on
not
here.
listed. I know that. Somebody's
The
fallen down on
postmortem
their
is
job
not
there.
listed. Yeah. What time is the postmortem today? I believe it's at 3 Central.
At 3
Or
p.m.
2
Central. 3 p.m. An
3
hour
p.m.
from
Central.
about an hour from now.
That would be 2 hours.
2 hours from now. I'm sorry. I look at the wrong clock.
So, yeah. Avatars Radio generally simulcasts the postmortem as well, so I think that means that Golden Wings Country Show, 5 o'clock somewhere, is also going to be delayed. Although Dr. DJ Sully's Faster Louder show will be still take place at 7 o'clock tonight. We have Phoenix Republic doing some PvE nights. Contact Kazan Phoenix Fire or Malakis for more information. At 8 o'clock, between 8 and 10 on Avatars Radio, we have DJ Striker Sparhawk doing his Lost in the Spaces show. If while you're listening to an eclectic flow of tunes, you can always go contact Pestilence for the Gladiator Wars registration between 8 and 8:50, and then the fights begin promptly at 9. Remember, this is going to be contacting Pestilence, and it's going to be in Finchfield. Remember, in order to get to Finchfield, you can always use Soda Map to get there. And then also at 10 o'clock, the last event for today, for Thursday, is going to be Apollox Evanhart's Temper Tantrum T-Days. So that is the calendar for March 3rd. Short and sweet.
Yes, as
But big thing that is not on the
I don't know
not
why
on here
it's not on the
is-
calendar. Somebody dropped the ball there.
well, the Fire Lotus party wasn't on there either.
Yeah, it might be Amber Rain who usually does that. I'll have to double check. But in the meantime, yeah, again, we're wishing her a speedy recovery, and we're hoping she gets back to us here in the game soon. We love you and miss you out here, Amber. Meanwhile, we got to thank our sponsors. Of course, Ben from Relics by Rill to get all your Shroud of the Avatar swag. And you can get 10% off when you go to relicsbyrill.com. Use the promo code NBNN when you check out, and get yourself a nice little discount out there. Good friends over at Shroud Marketplace. Anything new going on over there, Jack? Seen anything?
Haven't seen anything new today. We still have that hob cabinet up there, as long as some other things. I'm still trying to get rid of some of my extra stuff.
Cool.
So please go buy things.
Go out to Soda.
I can use the money.
Shroud Market. If you got stuff you want to get rid of, you got stuff you want to buy, go out, check it out. Check out the stores there. I see new vendors adding stores every day. You can add your own. Go check them out. For all your crafting needs, check out sodacraft.com. For all your taming needs, go out and check out sodataming.com. And of course, for all your travel needs out there, go check out sodamap.com by our good friend Jacob White, keeping you up to date with all your travel and adventure needs out there from point to point. If you're a town owner, check them out as well. You can lay out your towns and do all sorts of great things on the map with your towns there to set them up, lay them out, put your advertising, your vendors, all that great stuff on Soda Map. And of course, we'd like to thank our listeners, everybody out there joining us today. Thanks, Jade, for coming to join us. And Jack, you want to go ahead and take us on out of here?
Yes, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for conversing with us. We couldn't do this show without you. So over in YouTube, we do have Tenno Merrick in the channel. We also have Idiot Noob, Dreadfully Despised, Kendrick Darrow, Akush Lady, Luca, as well as Justin listening in. Thank you guys. Thank you, Scrota, for hanging out. And then we've got, I don't know how, Abia Luthor, as well as Dax Diggler, also
Dax
in-game, as well as
game,
Jade.
Yes. Joining us.
Yes, and Jade.
In game. Thanks again, everybody. We love you all out there.
Thanks for a great show, you guys.
Thanks, Jade. We look forward to your update next week. We hope to have you here regularly and on the show, giving us updates on the Virtue League from week to week and what the prizes you guys are tossing out there for the good folks. Alrighty, folks, with that, we're going to wrap it up. I'm Laz.
I'm Jack.
This Casey Cupcake.
This is Shroud. Thanks.
And we are NBNN. Stay tuned to NBNN for more news, sports, information, crazy wild happenings. We'll bring in you the postmortem and simulcast later on in about 2 hours. We're bringing you a star-long interview tomorrow after the show. Stay tuned. We'll bring you all this great stuff here in Shroud of the Avatar. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all later. I love this shit, man. I'll tell you.
I just got an email from Shooter Jennings.
Sweet.
I didn't.
Is it? My pre-ordered copy of the Countach CD is on its way. Yay. Yay. Here's your invoice. Sweet.
Yay.
Yay.